A huge storm will be forming in the United States over the next few days, and this is going to bring several problems, including the potential for a winter storm, flooding, rainfall, isolated severe weather, and then a massive Arctic blast that'll bring the coldest weather that we've seen this entire fall. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know about the weather that'll be impacting the United States over the next 7 days, and we'll begin with what's happening across the country this morning, and we got a lot of stuff happening now. We have a lot of moisture right now coming out of the Pacific Ocean that is fueling showers across the southern plains, and it might not look like much right now, but as we go throughout the early portion of this week, this is eventually going to upscale into a more significant rainmaker, and then eventually this could even bring some severe weather to the southeast United States. And then by the middle of the week, we're going to be watching for the interaction of this up here in the northern plains and this system to basically collide into a large storm along the east coast of the United States, and there could even be a nor'easter, so things are definitely going to get pretty interesting. And then on the other hand, we do have an Alberta clipper that is moving through the northeast right now, penetrating some snowfall to areas like New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and as well as Maine. And this will continue for the next few hours before it eventually moves out as we go later into the afternoon hours. Now, right now, the temperatures across much of the country are actually running above average, but that's going to change by the middle of this week. And the big reason why is because this large storm is going to bring very cold weather, and possibly the coldest weather that we've seen all fall long. So as we go into Monday into Tuesday, this trough will eventually start to organize further, but it's not going to be until Tuesday night into Wednesday morning until we really see an Arctic blast move into the northern and central plains. So this is by Tuesday night. Notice how that cold air starts to build in the Midwest, central, and northern plains, but eventually as we go into Wednesday, that is when the coldest of this air is going to be moving into the United States. By Wednesday morning, we are going to have many areas sub-zero back over in the northern plains, but it doesn't end there, because as we go into the Midwest Thursday morning, this cold pocket of air will move into the Midwest and then eventually into the Ohio Valley, and this is where we'll have the potential for record-breaking low temperatures Thursday morning back over in the Midwest. And this is very cold air. Again, this is well below average temperatures that'll be moving into the Midwest on Thursday. Eventually, as we go into Friday, this cold air will be moving into the Ohio Valley and as well as the Northeast, and this is also where we could see very frigid weather. So be prepared. Make sure you have multiple bundles ready to go. You might want to be protecting pipes, plants, all those sorts of things well ahead of time, and as well as pets. As we go into Friday morning and eventually into the afternoon, that cold air will simmer into the Northeast. Eventually by Saturday into Sunday, this is out of here and the warm weather will return. The good news about this cold blast is it's only going to last a couple of days. It's not going to be nearly as long lasting as the one we've been dealing with for the last week or so. So this is the wind chills that we could experience Thursday morning. This is essentially the feel-like temperatures. Many areas in the Midwest and even back into Minnesota will be as much as 20 to 30 degrees below zero for a feel-like temperature Thursday morning. Some spots could even be as much as 50 degrees below zero. So it's going to get very cold across those areas. And even by Friday morning, this cold air will move into areas like the Ohio Valley and as well as the Northeast. The actual temperatures are not going to be far off from that. Many areas like Wisconsin and Minnesota could be as much as 10 to 20 degrees below zero as we go into Thursday morning. So it is going to be frigid. High temperatures on Thursday may not make it out of the single digits back over in Wisconsin and even near the Windy City. Now, with all that said, this is a slightly more aggressive computer model, so this definitely could be a little bit lower than what actually happens. However, I do think these numbers are not far off from what we're going to be seeing as we go into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, let's talk more about this large storm that'll be coming to the United States in the sense of snow, rain, and even some severe weather. And we'll begin with our current setup for this storm. Right now, we have a winter storm that is happening back over in Canada. That is our low pressure center right there, just north of Montana. We also have this area of feeding moisture coming out of the Pacific Ocean with some showers right now in the southern plains. This storm is going to be a multi-day event, so you're going to kind of see what happens here over the next few days. As we go into tonight, we are going to be seeing snow across the upper Midwest and the northern plains. A band of moisture will continue to bring plenty of rainfall to areas along the Mississippi River as we go into tonight, and eventually into tomorrow morning that moves more to the north. This particular low pressure system will be weakening as it moves to the east, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see a large storm. You're going to see what happens here in a moment. But by Monday morning, heavy snowfall will be possible in Canada, light snowfall back over in northern Minnesota, some light to moderate snowfall will be possible in the northern parts of New England as we go into Monday night. The moisture overall will be kind of a bit more limited as we go into Monday night in the southeast, but I wouldn't rule out a couple of isolated severe storms on Monday. As we go into Tuesday, things are going to be a little bit quieter, but we are going to be dealing with a large area of showers and some isolated thunderstorms across the eastern tier hemisphere of the United States. Cold air advection starts to build on the backside of this trough, and eventually as we go into early Wednesday morning, that is when this particular storm becomes a lot more elongated, which means that we're going to be dealing with a large area of showers and thunderstorms and even some snowfall. That snow will be confined to mostly Canada, not really much for New England as we go into Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. We could see some severe weather happening back over in the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida as we go into Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. But here's where things get a little bit more crazy. The GFS model does show a bit more of a robust scenario where we have a digging trough that develops right around New Jersey and Delaware as we go into Wednesday afternoon. And if this ends up happening, we could actually see some sort of nor'easter form where really strong winds will pick up back over in New England and as well as up and down the East Coast. And then the potential for a winter storm will exist back over in parts of Pennsylvania, New York, maybe even some lake effect snow back over in Michigan. And then the potential for this bringing snowfall to New England is also a possibility Wednesday night and eventually into Thursday morning before this eventually moves out. And then all that cold air will be ushering in on the backside of this, bringing the potential for frigid weather and then also some lake effect snowfall. Now, with all that said, this is still about 3 to 4 days out, so there could be some changes to this, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and we'll keep you posted with the latest on the developments with this storm. To go a little bit more into depth here, this is what it looks like as we go into early this week. So again, some snow will be possible in northern New England Monday, rain back over in southern New England. As we go into late Tuesday into Wednesday, that is when plenty of showers will be possible across the Northeast. Heavy rainfall could lead to some localized flooding. This is when we're going to be watching for more of that winter storm potential component with this particular storm. Would be going into Wednesday afternoon and evening across parts of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and as well as New York. And eventually as we go into late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, that snow could clip into areas like Vermont and New Hampshire before lake effect snow would be possible on the backside of this as we go into Thursday. So in terms of total snowfall accumulation, this is the snow depth map in terms of how much snow depth could be on the ground by, Thursday or Friday. The most significant snowfall accumulation would be occurring back over in New York, but again, these snowfall accumulation totals could easily be higher. We are still several days out, and depending on the evolution of this trough and how slow or faster it's moving will determine how much snow we end up seeing out of this particular storm. Now, in terms of total rainfall, there will be a lot of rain out of this storm. We are talking about the potential for a widespread area seeing 1 to 3 inches of rainfall from New England all the way back into the Dixie Alley and even into Louisiana. And there could also be several areas back over in Indiana and Ohio that pick up anywhere from a half an inch to an inch of rain. Some of those areas are still in a significant drought, so they will definitely take any rain they can get. Elsewhere, not really looking too pretty for rainfall accumulation. Still a little bit more rain for the Pacific Northwest due to that atmospheric river that is happening, but otherwise, not really looking at much rain probably until the weekend. So if you're back over in those areas, atmospheric rivers will probably kick back up by next weekend. Now, in terms of total snowfall accumulation between now all the way through Friday of this week, the majority of snowfall across the United States will be confined to the Appalachian Mountains, the Northeast, and then also back over on the Canadian and United States border, back over in the Northern Plains and the Upper Midwest. Now, I do have a couple of big announcements, the first of which, winter forecast will likely be coming out later this week. A lot of you have been asking for it. We are probably going to be making a winter forecast later this week, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the bell icon so you're notified when that does come out. Our second announcement is that our last day for shipping before Christmas on shopmaxvelocity.net is going to be December 10th. So again, you got 2 days. If you want any sort of merch delivered before Christmas for a Christmas gift, you can go to shopmaxvelocity.net. It is the top link in the description below. We have our Happy Holidays collection, and as well as our Flying Trampoline merch, and as well as our Drunk NATO merch, and then our normal Max Velocity collection. This will make for a perfect stocking stuffer or a present, so make sure to go check it out at shopmaxvelocity.net.